We had the opportunity to research the options available for personal legal liability protection for those who carry a firearm in the United States in 2022. Our goal in this series of videos is to offer in a non-biased format the results of that research. Here we go. So I think the first one we'll cover is the prepaid legal, and only because I need to go through this and I don't want to waste the first time going through everything on one of the real services here. So as far as I understand, if I'm understanding this correctly, prepaid legal or having a lawyer on retainer, I'm not sure if there's a difference, that's been around for a long time, and that's something that predates any of the other options that we see here. If you were someone that carried a firearm or had issues with or wanted to be prepared for any kind of legal liability. So you would have an agreement with a lawyer, yearly fee or some sort of prepaid fee, and then that way you get some sort of a discount and preferential treatment or priority treatment. Often you get some sort of time with the attorney each year for that fee, and whatever services or whatever features the individual attorney might offer. So as we go down the list here, these are obviously just going to be some generic or general answers that are going to vary depending on the lawyer and the circumstances and your relationship with the attorney and probably the market. So it would be called prepaid legal, and the idea again would be that you'd have a lawyer on retainer so that if something happened, you'd just say, hey, I want to call my lawyer, and you're calling your lawyer. That can cost, at least what my options here in Arizona in February of 2022, that's somewhere between $150 and $500. Again, kind of depending if I need that for my business or just for myself, and I would have to find that attorney myself, of course. As far as I know, that can, and then it can, and as far as concluding the price section of this thing, the price is going to be determined again by all the factors that I mentioned, the relationship with the attorney or whatever. Going back to getting editing here, we'll edit this out, you won't even see this. So next we're going to coverage. I would think, I don't know of any states that you can't get some kind of prepaid legal. So it should be available in every state, and that's actually one of the benefits compared to some of the other options. As you see, pretty much every option that's available today has some restrictions somewhere. The Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network has just one state that prohibits their citizens from purchasing the coverage or being involved in the network, I should say. But all the other services have at least 3 or more states that deny their citizens to have coverage. As far as traveling with a lawyer, you might have issues because a lawyer is typically, from what I understand, going to be licensed for whatever state you're in or whatever that's called. You know, they're going to have the bar, whatever that's called. They've passed the bar for whatever state you're in. Now, some attorneys have, I don't know how it works, but they'll have presence in more than one state, so that might be something. And again, it depends on if you're traveling, but being able to travel, having some sort of a network of attorneys or something, that's all something you'd want to check out for some kind of a prepaid legal. Now, it's not insurance, so as far as payouts, your attorney's fees are going to be covered, but other costs, bail and bond, those kind of things, you're not going to get those kind of coverages. So I imagine, I'm assuming you would get some kind of coverage to cover those fees to combine with the prepaid legal. So most lawyers, I'm assuming, are going to cover both your criminal and your civil court costs. I would assume they're going to cover appeals as well, if it ever came to an appeal. I'm assuming an attorney that offers a prepaid option is a competent trial attorney, so they're going to be comfortable and capable going to trial. So I would imagine an appeal probably wouldn't be a factor as often, but I don't know enough about this. So civil damages, again, they're not insurance, so you're not going to get any kind of coverage for your civil damages. You're not going to get any kind of coverage for a bond unless maybe the attorney has some kind of a relationship with a bail bondsman. That would be a unique or an individual situation. I would assume most attorneys are also going to have access to expert witnesses when necessary. Coverage with a spouse and dependents would probably be up to the agreement you have with the attorney, but I'm assuming that's probably, everybody gets covered separately. Extreme risk protection orders or red flag laws, I would hope you'd have some sort of coverage with that. I'm assuming that's a yes. Psychological counseling would be more of something that the insurance companies would offer, so typically your group coverages or your prepaid legal isn't going to cover something like that. It's exact same with lost wages. There's no fund or anything I'm aware of, so most prepaid legal isn't going to cover costs like that. As far as constitutional carry and gun-free zones, I'm assuming those are going to be yeses. And then as far as what weapon you might use, a weapon at hand or a firearm, again, I'm assuming an attorney isn't going to care as long as it's a legal situation, or with an attorney, I'm assuming they're going to defend you, whatever you pay them to defend you. Lost wages, again, you're not going to be able to, there's no fund for that. The crime scene cleanup fees, no funding for that, and they're not going to be able to replace a firearm that's confiscated. However, an attorney, I'm sure, would be able to pursue getting that back more than a insurance might. But most of the insurance claim that they'll compensate you or replace the firearm. And then gun-free zones, again, I'm assuming that they'll cover you in a gun-free zone. Now, extras, as far as training and having a hotline, it would be up to the attorney if they're going to have that kind of thing. Other benefits, again, it's going to depend on the attorney and what resources they may have available to them. As far as when we get to the section here on YouTube videos, there are definitely attorneys that put some very interesting information out there in YouTube or on YouTube, so I would definitely check that out. Attorneys might have some sort of a kickback or an affiliate program, a way for you to get a few bucks for sending people their way. That's an effective marketing tool, and everybody's capitalist here. There's no contact information. Experience is something you'd want to ask the attorney about. They probably brag when they have a lot of experience. Better Business Bureau rankings is something I'm sure you'll be able to discover about them. And we really have no one specifically in mind here, so there's no specific advisors to refer to. So this was our first run through of the different factors that we're using to compare the concealed carry options, concealed carry insurance options. And this first one was the prepaid legal, or having a lawyer on retainer. If you have more experience on this and you know something that we've failed to cover or something to add, please let us know in the comments wherever you happen to find this. If it's on UTG, if it's on one of the other platforms, leave us some comments. We check them out on all the different platforms. And we want to thank our Patreons, the folks that make it possible for us to spend the time on a non-biased review like this. This series will go in to cover each of these factors for each of these different services, and we're not trying to sell you on any of them or not sell you on any of them. This isn't a sales pitch. We post all this information on our website, Minuteman University, in an attempt to clear the playing field, or clarify the playing field, so people have a better idea of what it's like to be a firearms owner in the United States today. Thanks again to our patrons that make it possible. Looking forward to your comments. I'd like to say a big thank you to those who subscribe to our Patreon channel. You keep our websites online and all this information available for free for everyone. Wherever you find the video, over on gunstreamer.com or on guntube.org. Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.